So if you want to give me the answer, please give me the answer. And let me just once again yes, Pooja, you are right. Let me just once again join because there is some problem here. Okay. Now, yes, Pooja, your answer is all right. What is the other one? Any other difference that you want to see? Or you know, or you want to share? So let me tell you, there are many differences. One difference is discovery is unsystematic, while invention is systematic. Number two, no training can be given for discovery, while training is given in research, which may lead to discovery. No registration can be done for the discovery. No registration can be done for discovery, while there is a registration for research, which may lead to discovery, which may lead to invention. So these are some of the differences between the discovery and the invention. And my dear friend, if you will not do research, then there are no chances of invention. So therefore, these are some of the differences between the discovery and the invention. Any question you want to ask? Any question you want to ask, then I will proceed further. And if there is no question, then we go ahead. Yesterday, I started the steps of the research. And I said, the first step of the research is identification of problem. And then I said that identification is a broader word and selection is a part of it. And I gave you the example from daily life. One example of your dress, if you are purchasing the dress, then you select because there are varieties. Okay. When you go to purchase the vegetable, you use, there are varieties, and therefore from those variety it is a heterogeneous, then you have to narrow it down. So when it is narrow, then you can use the word selection. When it is wide, then you use the word identification. Or when it is heterogeneous, then you use the word identification. And when it is relatively homogeneous, then you use the word selection. Let me give example from our subject. Suppose we have economics, history, Hindi, mathematics, education, management, computer science, psychology, physical education, the political science, etc. Now, there are so many subjects. So it is a heterogeneous situation. Now, if you have your master's degree in, let us say, management, then you will be doing research related to some aspect of management. If you have your master's degree in Hindi, then you will be doing research related to some aspect of Hindi. Like this, if you have your master's degree in computer science, then you will be doing research related to some aspect of the computer science. So this is how you do it. So let us see, suppose you want to research in management, then you take out management from here and then you have management. So I have narrowed it down because I have taken out the management. And in management, you have HR, you have marketing, you have IT, you have accountancy, like this. You have many. Suppose you think of doing research in marketing, then you take out the marketing. So now you have taken out the marketing, you are further reducing it. And suppose you can market, and for marketing, you can have any item. Suppose you may do marketing of computers, of vehicle, of some product, goods, etc. Suppose you want to do research related to the computer, then you can select now computer, and then you can do, you want to do the sale in the computer, it is the sale, or you want to do some software, or you want to do hardware. Suppose you want to do the software. And now, if it is a software, which software? There are many softwares. Say, for example, SPSS software is there. For example, your Word is there, and many other softwares are there. If suppose you decide that you want to do research related to the SPSS, so you take out the SPSS, and then you may try to do the research as far as the money is concerned, how much money is generated. So therefore, you may like to see your gain. So you can like this. So you can select one and then keep on narrowing it down. And when it becomes so narrow that you cannot further narrow it down, then of course you can select. So this is how the selection is a part of the identification. Let me take another example. Suppose I want to do research in education. So I take the education. So I take education, and in education there are many aspects. History of education, the philosophy of education, economics of education, psychology of education, educational technology, guidance and counseling, say mathematics teaching, say science teaching, say adult education, say non-formal education. Like this, there are many aspects. Now suppose if you decide to do research related to the educational technology, so you select educational technology, and now then you have now education technology. Again, in educational technology, there are many aspects. One can be micro teaching, another can be models of teaching, another can be programmed learning, another like this. There are many. Suppose you want to do research related to the micro teaching. So you further narrow it down and now you come to the micro teaching. Now in micro teaching, there are many skills. Say the skills is something like this, that there is a questioning skill, then stimulus variation skill, then there is a blackboard writing skill, then there is a skill of explanation, like this. There are many skills. Then there is a integration of skills. Now suppose you decide that you want to do a research related to the integration of skills. So now you decide, and now here is a integration of skill. Now you have to decide which subject do you want to teach. Language, and in language you want to study which skills can be integrated and in what fashion. There are many ways of integration. Or if you are teaching mathematics, then which skills should be integrated? Or if you are teaching history, which skills to be integrated? That you have to decide. And the procedure of integration you have to decide. There are many procedures of integration. So then you can select the subject. And this is how you can slowly reduce it. So the selection is a part of identification. Now, any question you want to ask? So I have explained the difference between identification and selection. So any question you want to ask here? I'm waiting for your question. If there is no question, then we proceed further. So I have explained you the identification word. Now next word is a problem. Can you tell me what is another word for a problem, which is a technical word? So what is the technical word that you will like to use in place of problem? Problem is a general word. So can you tell me what is the technical word? Harpreet Kaur, thank you very much. One participant has already given the answer. Another participant like to answer? Okay, let me give you a hint. The word which you have to think, the first letter is V. Now you can think. Harpreet Kaur, you need not to answer. Now those participants who could not think, now you think about the word. The first letter is V. Yes. Subhi, your answer is correct. Any other participant? Now another letter is A. Now think what can be the word. Yes, Pooja Gupta, your answer is correct. Namitha, your answer is correct. Let me have another word is R. Let me see whether any other participant like to answer what can be the word. Out of 26, 4 people have already given their response. If some more are coming, I'm waiting for the answer. Yes, Nayak, your answer is correct. So my dear friend, the word is variable. So in place of the word problem, you can use the word variable. And variable is a technical word, whereas problem is a general word. So when you think of conducting the research, you must have a variable. So minimum, how many variables should you have? In conducting research, minimum, how many variables should you have? Okay, Harpreet, I have got your answer. Navita, I have got your answer. Lokesh, I have got your answer. Nayak, I have got your answer. Rupali, Shruti, Upadhyay, I have got the answer. Verma, James Verma, I have got the answer. My dear friend, minimum there must be one variable. You need not to have two variables. Minimum there must be one variable, because without variable, it is not possible to conduct the research. So therefore, the minimum number of the variable that is required for conducting the research is only one. But if you want to have 4 variables, you want to have 3 variables, the choice is yours. But minimum number of the variable must be 1. Now, once you have selected the variable, then next you should be able to write title. And you must have seen the title of a book, the title of a research paper, and title of a research. All these three titles, they differ among themselves. I hope you might have seen. The book title sometimes is only one word, or sometimes it can be 4 words. But you might not have seen the title of a book which is of 10 words or 15 words. No. So therefore, the title of the book is very broad, like Hindi, like geometry, like solid state physics, like economics, like microeconomics. All these are the titles of the books. But the title of the paper and title of the research will be longer than the title of the book. So therefore, you must know whether the title of the research should be broad versus narrow versus specific. That's what you should understand. So do you think the title of the research should be broad, narrow, or specific? How do you think? Okay, dear friends, you keep your answer, and when I proceed further, then you yourself will get the answer of the question. Okay, all right. Now once you have written the title, then sometime when you read the title of the research, you may find that the title is appropriate. But sometime when you read the title of the research, you may find that the title is not appropriate, because there are information which should have been given in the title, but they are not given. So therefore, you must know which all information should be given in the title. That is important. Uma Pandey, you will see, you will get the answer yourself. Now, then next question is that can a title start with the word to, or can you put a full stop in the title? These are the 4 information which you must have in respect of the title of the research. Now, once you have written the title of the research, then you should be able to write then you should be able to write the objective. There must be minimum one objective. Why? Because without objective, it is not possible to do research. So if you want to do research, minimum you must have one objective. But if you want more than one, the choice is yours. These days, sometimes people write research questions. And I have seen that there are many PhD theses in which the researcher has written both the objective as well as research questions. My dear friend, both are same. The meaning is the same. What you write objective and you write the research question, the objective is written in a simple sentence, and that sentence you can convert it in the question form, then it becomes a research question. But the meaning is the same. When I write the title and I write the objective, I will tell you that if you are writing objective, this is the wording. If you write research question, this is the wording. So therefore, my suggestion is, please either you write the heading objective in your research, and then you write a simple sentence. But if you decide to write research question as a heading, then you can write research question as a heading, and then you write that simple sentence, convert it in the question form. But do not write both the objectives as well as the research question in the same research. There is no sense of it. Actually, this problem has come because there might be people who might have traveled to other countries. And in US, the researchers do not write the heading objective. They write the heading research question. And therefore, they will be writing the question, research question. So maybe the person has started telling to their own people in India that we should write both the objective as well as research question. The person might not have understood that in US, they do not write objective at all. They just write the research question. So therefore, please, my humble suggestion is, you should not write both. You should just write any one you like. No need of writing the both. Okay, Pooja Gupta, I have seen what you have said. Do not worry, I will give you the information about the variable. I don't know whether you are asking me a question or what are you doing. I don't know. Pooja Gupta, you have written information about variable. Should I give you the information about variable or you want? Okay, I will give. Don't worry about it. Just wait, Pooja. So therefore, when you are writing the objective, you must know, should they be broad? Should they be narrow? Sorry, or should they be pinpointed? Now, what do you think? Should your research question or objective be broad, narrow, or pinpointed? Okay. Many of you have given the correct answer, but some of you have not given the correct answer. You will know it yourself. When I give example, you will know. So therefore, you can write it in that sentence form or question form. Now, once you have done these three things, then your step number 1 is over. So your step number 1 is over. So if you have selected the variable, you have written the title, and you have written the objective or the research question, then your step number 1 is over. Now I want to ask you that should you first select the variable, then write the title, and then write the objective, or you should first write the title or think of a title, then decide the variable, and then decide the objective? Or should you first write the objective, then decide the variable, and then write the title? What should be the sequence among variable, title, and objective? The logical sequence. Yes, Harpreet Kaur, I have got your answer. Thank you very much. Subhi, I have got your answer. Lokesh, I have got your answer. Navita, I have got your answer. Subhi, I have got your another answer. Your first answer I got, the second answer also. Shruti Upadhyay, I have got your answer. Okay. Now, most of you have given the correct answer. That as a researcher, we must first decide the variable. Yes, Pooja Gupta, I got your answer. First, you have to decide the variable, and then you must write the title. Why? Because in that title, you have to mention the variable. Now, if you have not decided the variable, then you cannot mention it in the title. So you have to decide the variable first, and then you have to write the title. Now, for one title, how many objectives can you write? For one title, how many objectives can be written? If you have one title, how many objectives can one write? Not minimum, How many? Now, if you have to write many objectives from the one title, then you tell me, should your title be narrow or should your title be specific? Because from one particular title, you can write 10 objectives, you can write 15 objectives. I have seen in one research, one of the student wrote 45 objectives. So now, if you have to write many objectives, do you think that your title should be specific or should it be narrow? Seema, if it is specific, then you cannot write many objectives. If I write the specific of one, the title, then I cannot write many objectives. So your title has to be narrow. No, it is not Rupali. It's not specific. It is narrow. Because if it is not narrow, then you cannot have many objectives out of it. If it is specific, then only you have to write one. I will write the specific also, and then I will tell you, nothing to worry about it. Okay. So now you have understood the sequence. Now, should I tell you all these steps first, or I should tell you the details of the first step first? What do you want? Do you want that I should tell you all the steps of the research first, or should I give you the details of the first step? Okay. If you want all steps, no problem. Now, once you have come, you have the identification as a first step. And in the first step, what at the end you have done, you have written objectives. Then the next step will be the formulation of hypothesis. Now let me give you what is a hypothesis. Hypothesis is the tentative solution of the problem. Another is hypothesis is the intelligent guess about the solution of the problem. And the another is hypothesis is the conjectural statement about the relationship between variables. Now, you can see these one, and here it is a tentative solution. It is not a final solution. It is not a guess, but it is an intelligent guess. And it is not just a statement, it is a conjecture. Now, all these definitions, they point out that it is not final, it is tentative. Say, for example, you go from your workplace to home and you find that there is no lock on the main door. And the moment you see that there is no lock on the main door, then immediately you think, sometime you may think somebody has broken the lock, or some family member might have come before you, or you might, or the person who went at the end might have forgotten to lock. So these can be the different reasons. These can be the different solutions of this event, but which one is appropriate in this case? Now you go inside and you find everything is fine, nice, nothing. So that means no theft has taken place. And you find that your brother is there. He is sitting in his room and he is reading. So that means he has come before you. So that means when you have a tentative, see, when we go to the doctor examines, and doctor many a times tell to the patient that most probably you are suffering from this problem. And then the doctor may give the medicine and may say that you start taking this medicine, but you go to pathology lab and get your blood test done. Why doctor wants the blood test report? Because he wants to be sure that the patient is having this problem. So that means it is a tentative one, or it is an intelligent guess, because the doctor has a degree and he has seen many patients. So his experience and his knowledge has helped him to say that the patient is having this problem. But he makes it sure, or he tells to the patient only after the report. So that means the hypothesis has to be tested. And when you want to test the hypothesis in the medical science, you have a lab, pathology lab. In science, you have the lab. But in social sciences, you do not have labs. And if you do not have lab, then how do you test? You test by using statistical technique. And if you want to use statistical technique, you must have quantitative data. Now, if you do not have the quantitative data, then you will not be able to analyze with the help of a statistical technique, and you will not be able to test the hypothesis. And if so, then you cannot formulate the hypothesis. I repeat this information again. If you have, say, if you have the qualitative data, please pay attention. If you have qualitative data, which cannot be analyzed with the help of the statistical technique, then you cannot test the hypothesis. And therefore, you should not formulate the hypothesis. But if you have a quantitative data which can be analyzed with the help of a statistical technique, then you can test the hypothesis and you must formulate the hypothesis. So therefore, if you have the quantitative data which can be analyzed with the help of a statistical technique, then you can test the hypothesis and you can formulate the hypothesis. But if you have a qualitative data which cannot be analyzed with the help of a statistical technique, then you cannot test the hypothesis, then you should not formulate the hypothesis. But if you convert the qualitative data into quantitative, I repeat, if you convert the qualitative data into quantitative, then you can analyze with the help of a statistical technique, then you can test the hypothesis and you can formulate the hypothesis. So therefore, now you have understood that in which situation the hypothesis can be formulated and in which situation the hypothesis cannot be formulated. So see, hypothesis cannot be formulated in case of qualitative research, or you can say philosophical research, historical research, descriptive survey research, and case study research. But hypothesis should be formulated in correlational survey and experimental research. Now this is important. So therefore, the formulation of hypothesis will be the step only and only if you are doing the correlational survey research or you are doing an experimental research. Otherwise, the second step will not be there if you are doing philosophical research, historical research, descriptive survey research, or case study research, or if you are doing pure qualitative research. So therefore, the second step is an optional step. Now, in those researches where formulation of hypothesis is the second step, then the third step is the data collection. Now, when you are doing the philosophical research, please note it down. When you are doing the philosophical research, you have to take information from your primary source. So you have to use the primary source to collect the information. If you are doing a historical research, then you will get your data either from the primary source or from the secondary source, or both the primary source as well as the secondary source. But if you are doing your research, either a survey research or experimental research or a case study research, then you have to collect the data from the field. And if you collect the data from the field, you must know about the sample. You know the word sample. You know, when you go to the market, you bring sample of rice to show to your family members and decide which rice you want. You bring the sample of wheat if you want to purchase wheat. You bring sample of many other things which you can bring. So you have the sample. Then you must have your tool, or it is called instrument. Lokesh, ex post facto is an experimental research. It is not a historical research at all. Why? Because in ex post facto, you have to give the treatment first. That means, and it is to be conducted only for the government schemes. If you want to evaluate the government scheme, because the government scheme is implemented all over India. So ex post facto research is only and only when you are only evaluating the work or scheme of the government, like your midday meal, like your GST, like your demonetization. Okay. Now, or many other scheme of the government which is there. So if you want to evaluate, then you can do ex post facto. Otherwise, for your PhD, you can't do ex post facto. It's not possible. Then you can use your, decide the tool or the instrument, and then you must know your method of research. Now, once you have collected your data, then it will be the data analysis. And my dear friend, you will have two types of data. One is qualitative data. Another will be quantitative data. So you must know the different technique which you will be using for analyzing your qualitative data. The qualitative data can be analyzed by doing content analysis, meta-analysis, and sort analysis, or you can say SWOC, source analysis. But if you have to do the quantitative, then there are many statistical techniques which you must know. Statistical technique. You have to decide the statistical techniques. Now, once you have analyzed your data, then the step is the conclusion, or you can say finding. Now, these are the steps which you will be using for conducting the correlational survey as well as the experimental one. But the steps for conducting qualitative research or philosophical research, historical research, and case study research are as follows. One is identification of problem. Then another will be the data collection. And in the identification of problem, my dear friend, you have to select your variable. You have to write your title and you have to write your objective or research question. And then the second step will be the data collection. And the third step is the data analysis. And the fourth step is your conclusion or your finding. Now, these are the steps which will be there only and only if you are conducting the qualitative research or philosophical or historical case study. Oh, yes, you have to have one more, descriptive survey. Descriptive survey research. So these are the steps which you will be following in order to do this type of research. So these are the steps which I have given you in short. Any question you want to ask? Now then I will proceed further. Any question you want to ask? NIAC for content analysis, I will not be touching in this particular webinar because we only have the basics of research. But if you are interested, then there is a small book on content analysis which you can get. It is published by SAGE, SAGE, SAGE publication, or there might be books in your library. You can find out the content analysis from there, or you can find out the some matter related to the content analysis on your using Google. You see, and that will be there. I will not touch this. In this webinar, I will not touch. Okay. Any other question? Any other participant like to ask? And if there is no question, then let me proceed further. Now, I'm taking the first step. The first step is, as I said, identification of problem. And in this, you must know the variable. So let me now, and then you must know how to write title, and you must know how to write objective or research question. So let me take the variable first. Do you know what is a variable? Variable refers to changeable characteristics. Any characteristics which can change. Examples. Methods of teaching. Methods of teaching is a variable. Then another can be medium of instruction. It can be the variable. Another can be your weight. Another can be the speed of car. Another can be the cost. Another can be the color. Another can be achievement in any subject you like. Another can be yes, another can be salt intake. Another can be blood pressure. Another can be temperature. Should I give more examples or these are enough? Yes, you can have working days, working hours. Should I give more examples of variables or these are enough? So like this, you find there are many variables. Then another is a constant. So constant just wait, I'm starting. Now another is a constant. When a constant refers to unchangeable characteristics. Those characteristics which cannot change will be the constant. Examples. Number of days in a week. If you ask anyone, everyone will say there are 7 days in a week. But working day is not a constant, it is a variable. Because some people might have 7 days working, some people might have 6 days working, some might have 5 days working, and some might have 4 days working. In some of the countries, now they have started having the 4 days working. So that depends upon. Okay. Then the value of pi. You know the value of pi is 22/7. So you ask anyone, everyone will give you the same answer. So it is constant. Another is sum of 3 angles of a triangle. You take the triangle and you take the 3 angles and you will find their sum is always 180. All may be 60-60, some may be 90, another may be 45, another may be 45, so it is 180. So like this, there are many constants. And in science, there are many constants. If some of you belong to science, then you know it. Now, another important is a variable. A variable may be held constant, but a constant cannot be made variable. Say a variable, if you have, let us say, gender, you must have seen that there are many schools and colleges which are purely for girls. So therefore, if they are only for girls, only girls college, then gender is held constant. If it is only boys college, then it is held constant. So a variable may be held constant, but it is not permanently, you cannot make it constant. Say medium of instruction. It may be only English. It may be only Hindi. It may be any other one. Only Marathi, only Gujarati, only Tamil, only this, only that. Then you are keeping the medium of instruction constant. Now this constant is only for a specific period of time. It's not for ever. In your research, you might keep a particular variable constant, but in other researches, it may not be constant. Okay, all right. Any question you want to ask here? Okay, if no question, then we proceed further. Now we go to the types of variable. Can any one of you tell me what are the types of variable? What are the types of variable that you know? Okay, I have got the answer. My dear friend, there are two types of variable which will be in all subjects. Whether you have English, mathematics, science, Hindi, management, computer science, whatever is the subject, in all subjects, you will have the variables, and these variables are called continuous variable, and another is called discontinuous variable. Or you can also call discrete variable. Now, these are the two types of the variable which are everywhere, whether you are doing a philosophical research or a survey research or a historical research or case study research or experimental research, any type of research, qualitative research, quantitative research, no problem at all. So these are the two types of the variables which are everywhere. So continuous variables are those which can be expressed which can be expressed both in whole number as well as fraction. Example. Say your weight. Your weight can be 45 kg, 45.5 kg. So height. Your height can be, the child height can be 3 feet. It can be 3 feet 5 inches. Achievement. You may get 20 out of 20, or you may get 15.5 out of 20. So that will be there. Then temperature. Your temperature, body temperature may be 100, maybe 99.8 or something like this. Then power of a lens. The power of a lens might be 1, or the power of a lens might be 1.2 or 0.8, or depends upon. Then intensity of the red color. Cost of anything, absolutely no problem. Then your reasoning, stress, the creativity, reaction towards online teaching. Like this, there are many variables which will be the continuous variables, because you will have the values in the whole number as well as in the fraction. Then you have your discontinuous variable. So discontinuous variables are those which can be expressed only in whole number. For example, methods of teaching. Either somebody will say 5 methods of teaching, someone will say 7 methods of teaching, someone may say 2, no one will say 2.5 methods of teaching. Types of question. Either you have 2 types of question or 3 types of question. Number of books. Either you have 40 books or 100 books, but you cannot say 40.5 books. Number of students in schools. Someone may say there are 1,000 students. Someone may say we have only 900 students, but no one will say they have attendance of students. your attendance may be 20 out of 20, your attendance may be 18 out of 20, but no one will say 18.5. Number of lines on pages. You will say either your number of lines are 10 or number of lines are 8 or number of lines are 11. Number of words per line. Either the number of words are 20 or 25 or 7 or 8, depends upon that. Your subjects, your caste, marital status. So like this, there are many variables of this type which will always be the discontinuous variable. I hope you have understood it. Any question, any participant like to ask? Any question you want to ask? Then another is that continuous variable may be continuous variable may be made discontinuous but not vice versa. Say, if you have your, say, achievement, your achievement is a continuous variable because you may have out of 100 marks, you may have 90.5 marks, whatever it is. But when we say pass or fail, now pass and fail is on the basis of your achievement, and pass and fail is the discontinuous. So on the basis of achievement, I can say either pass or you can say either fail. Say you have your weight, or on the basis of achievement, you can say first division, you can say second division, you can say third division, and you can say fail or whatever it is. If you have your weight, then you can, on the basis of your weight, you can say overweight, you can say underweight, or you can say normal weight. So like this, your discontinuous variable, your continuous variable may be made discontinuous, but your gender, you cannot make continuous. Your methods of teaching, you cannot make continuous. Your types of questions, you cannot make continuous. Your number of the books, you can't make continuous. So therefore, this is important. I hope you have understood it. Now, it is only in experimental research, the variables do you have another 5-10 minutes, or should I take it tomorrow? If you want tomorrow, I can do it tomorrow, but if you want today, I can complete it today. Okay, then let me complete. So only in experimental research, the variables are, one is called independent variable, or it is also called the treatment. In experiment, because we have the designs, so there we talk about the treatment. Then another is dependent variable. These two words, these two names of the variable you can use only and only if you are conducting an experimental study. Let me give some example. Say quality of food and your health. The changes in the health will depend upon the quality of the food. If the quality of food is good, your health will be good. And when I say quality of food, it means all your proteins, all your other fat and all that you should take in a proper proportion. So it becomes an independent variable, and health will become the dependent variable, because the changes in the health will be as per your quality of food. Now, if you have your monthly income and you have your quality of food, now your monthly income is an independent variable and your quality of food is a dependent variable. Now, if your monthly income is very good, the quality of food will be very good. If your monthly income is not good, then the quality of food that you take will not be good. Now you see, in the first example, the quality of food is independent variable. And in the second example, the quality of food is a dependent variable. What is the meaning? The meaning is that dependent or independent is not absolute. It is relative. It depends upon the situation. Say when you were young, then you were dependent on your parents. Some of you might be dependent on your parents even right now. But those who are earning, so they are independent, and now their parents have become old and might have retired. So your parents now might be dependent on you. So your parents were independent at one point of time, and now they are dependent in another point of time. Today, you are independent, but a time will come, an age will come when you will become dependent. Okay? So therefore, dependent and independent is not the absolute, it is relative. So you can't say that something is forever dependent or it is forever independent. No, it is the situation which will tell you which is dependent and which is independent. Now, if I say methods of teaching and your understanding, now your understanding depends on the methods of teaching. So methods of teaching becomes an independent variable and your understanding becomes a dependent variable. But my dear friend, your understanding does not completely depend on the methods of teaching. It does depend upon your previous understanding. It depends upon your concentration. It depends upon your vocabulary. It depends upon your language ability. It depends upon your reasoning. Like this. So there are many variables which will definitely try to influence your understanding whenever the teacher is teaching. Sometimes you may not be able to understand because your previous understanding is very weak. You did not know many things, as you did not know that the variables are of two types, and these are the continuous and discontinuous. Some of you said independent and dependent. Why? Because this is what your teacher might have taught you, or this is what you might have learned from some of the books, which might not have given the correct information. So therefore, such type of variables are called intervening variables. Now, intervening variables are those which are in the process, and outside the process, but bring change in your understanding, but bring change in dependent variable, in the presence of independent variable. These are called intervening variables. You might have seen that during this pandemic, that everyone was washing hands regularly. Why? Because in intervening variable, we were putting the mask. If you do not put the mask, then you may get affected by many other things. So that is why, to prevent that, you are putting mask, because that was a virus was there, that was an intervening variable. So your intervening variable may be inside the process or it may be outside the process. When it is inside, it is called intrinsic. Intrinsic intervening variable. Or another can be extrinsic. Extrinsic intervening variable. Extrinsic means outside. For example, right now, you people, wherever you are sitting, if you are uncomfortable, then my dear friend, it is quite possible that you might not be able to concentrate. Or if there are children who are playing near you, because of the noise of the children, sometimes you might miss some of my statements or sentences, and therefore you may not be able. All these are the intervening variables. The extrinsic intervening variable is also called confounding variable. So these are the intervening variable. Now, at present, all of you do not have your same height. Different participants have their different heights. So height is a variable, but it is not the intervening variable in this particular case. The color of your clothes, which you have put on, is a variable, but it is not an intervening variable at this moment. Your weight, each one of you may not have your same weight. Some of you might be 50 kg, some might be 47 kg. So weight is also a variable. And these are in the process, but do not bring change in the dependent variable. In the presence of independent variable, such variables are called confounding, are called concomitant variable. So concomitant variables are those which are in the process, but do not bring change in the, which are in the process, but do not bring change in the dependent variable in the presence of independent variable. So I have given many examples. Now, the height at present is a concomitant variable, but the height in basketball will become an intervening variable. Your skin color right now is a concomitant variable, but if it is a beauty competition, it may become an intervening variable. So these are the names which you can use when you are conducting an experimental research. In experimental research, you must know what is your independent variable, what is your dependent variable, and what are the intervening variables. And in survey research also, there are intervening variables. In experimental research, in order to control intervening variables, there are many methods of control, which I will be teaching you. And in survey method, if you want to control, there are many methods which you can use to control. Now, if you see, your treatment is always a discontinuous variable. And your dependent variable will always be a continuous variable. And your intervening variable is continuous as well as discontinuous. And your concomitant variable will also be the continuous variable as well as a discrete or discontinuous variable. So this is the relationship between independent variable, dependent variable, intervening variable, and concomitant variable on one hand, with the continuous variable and discontinuous variable on another hand. So this is what is important, and these words only and only in the experimental study. Please do not use them in philosophical research, in survey research, in historical research. In historical research, the philosophical research, the descriptives, the survey research, the case study research, your variables are either continuous or discrete. But in experimental research, you may use the word independent variable, the dependent variable, the intervening variable, no problem. Okay, so thank you very much. Any question you want to ask before I say bye-bye to you? And I'm sorry I have taken more time today. Okay, thank you very much. See you tomorrow. And tomorrow I will again give you some questions and you try to get the answer. Thank you. Bye-bye.